that I had the theme of rejection, and it was so painful. It was really, really covered up, because who wants to feel it? But the amazing thing, when I really got to it and felt it deeply, and realized I'd done it to myself. Nobody else punishes you. God doesn't punish you or judge you. We're the ones that do it to ourselves. We beat ourselves up, and we're so unkind to ourselves. It's awful. I was trying to strive, trying to do better, trying to be perfect. It doesn't work, it just makes you exhausted until you finally go round the block enough to discover that it's an inside job. It starts with us. And once we love and accept ourselves and give ourselves the peace that passeth all understanding, we'll find it in the world. It's not about going on peace marches and demanding peace with a very angry attitude. There's still a conflict in your heart. It starts with us. So if everybody in the world found peace and love and gave it to themselves, that would be reflected in the outside world. Once you have that, and you have that stillness inside, you won't want to hurt another person, because it hurts you. You wouldn't want to kill another person. Why would you want to? It's all a reflection of you. So then all the wars stop, all the conflict stops, the need for policing stops, the crime stops, the addiction stops, because we're not covering up our yearning, which is a need for love and approval. So it starts with you and me, and when you find that peace inside, and it was such a joy that my mother left and died. She left the earth at age 92, very peacefully in her bed. What a joy that was. So it wasn't difficult for me when she died, because we'd done our work before. There was nothing outstanding. We'd found an understanding and let each other off the hook, and can carry on knowing that that's a completion. So that is really valuable, really, really valuable. So there's very little grief then, because you've worked out the mystery. You've opened your heart to compassion and love. And when we're in our head, in the ego, it's all, you did this to me, you rejected me, you don't love me. It's a blaming game. But when you can come into your heart, it shifts. It's a whole different perspective. And so then you can thank people who have shown you aspects of yourself which it was too painful for you to take a look at. Rejection. Who wants to feel that? But once you do, and feel the hurt around it, your heart opens. That's one blockage or obstruction to love that you've brought to the light, and realized it was you rejecting you. So that is really such a beautiful thing to do, and anybody can do it. You don't need any money. You don't have to be in India. You don't have to be in a church. You can be sitting anywhere in the desert, on a beach, and just give that to yourself. Do it for 20 minutes, half an hour, twice a day. Just give yourself that love, and stop beating ourselves up. Gosh, we're so unlovable to ourselves. You know, that voice that says, do better, you did that wrong, you're dumb, you're stupid, you know, don't listen to that voice. Just listen to your heart, which is just wanting to be loved and accepted and live in joy, and let all the fear go, the fear of not being approved of, the fear of what can happen to me. When you're sitting anywhere in the world, in the middle of a war even, as in Israel, you can be peaceful. And then that peace ripples out to everybody around you. So it starts with you, and that is better than any peace march or people getting angry and protesting. You know, sit and be peaceful and loving, accepting and having compassion in your own heart. That's where it starts. And if one by one, if everyone in the world did that, there would be such a peace on earth that passeth all understanding. And it's all available to us. It costs nothing. It doesn't cost any money. And the time you spend will be time invested in you, because it will open your heart, give you a much deeper and richer understanding, and fill your heart with love and joy. So wouldn't you rather be rippling that out to the world than hatred, blaming? Well, I would. Nobody else has to be willing. But from my perspective and through my life's journey, it works for me. Just give it a try, and join me in love and joy, compassion and peace. And then your whole body can just relax. All the cells aren't in conflict or fighting inside anymore. And any illnesses, because you're at ease with yourself. A disease doesn't have to be there, because a disease is only there to tell you something's out of whack. There's some place that you find unlovable. There's something like rejection I didn't know was lurking there. And so all your illnesses are telling you, accept all aspects of yourself. There is no good or bad. There is no being positive is good and feeling rejected negative. They're just a polarity. And if you didn't know what rejection was, I guess how would you know what acceptance is? So we're just here to experience all the different polarities, really get into it, play it really well. And, you know, the feeling of rejection, nobody loves me, everyone hates me, I'm unworthy, I'm unloved. I mean, it seems to go into our very bones. And to let that go. But actually, when you're depressed, it's a really good idea to wallow in it. You don't... I have never taken any medicine or drugs or anything, but wallow in your misery. You know, watch true movies, really ones that make you cry. You know, if you find it difficult to cry and open up. And so if you're feeling depressed, then really give yourself, you know, a week to be depressed. Don't get out of bed, and then you'll get a little bored with it. So, but the key to depression too is when you're really, really low, just remember the times when you were really successful and on top of the world. And when you're like a bit bipolar, when you're on top of the world, remember when you were depressed. So it's all about bringing yourself into balance. bipolar is just that. You're one extreme to the other. So when you're hyper and all out there, your body needs to recoup some energy. So, you're depressed, you're low, you have to hibernate. So the body never lies, and the body is telling you constantly, what it wants. It's not a mystery, and we don't have to take a pill to cover it up. It's not taking a pill, that's a band-aid, in order to discover what's inside, what's under all this, what's causing me stress, disease, depression. What is it? If we take a pill and you're like a zombie, you just push it further inside, and then it'll take longer to find out what it is. And once you've found it, and love my rejection. That was really an amazing experience, to feel so separated from God, from the source, to feel so unloved and worthy. That's the extreme of feeling like nothing. And so then to go, how would I know what love and connected to the source and God is if I didn't know the rejection theme, and how it was to feel unworthy and unlovable, and nobody likes me, everyone hates me. So things, come a full circle once you realize, like Shakespeare said, life is a play. We're all playing different themes of the play. So, I played it really well. I was such a good martyr, such a living in fear, that you're always on red alert, living in anxiety, what's going to happen next. So